Every civilization on Earth, independently of each other, invented the exact same creature. China, Europe, Mesopotamia, the Aztecs. Between them, thousands of miles and thousands of years. No internet, no trade routes, no contact whatsoever. But the description, identical. Wings, fire, scales, intelligence. 4 or 6 limbs, depending on the tradition. And this is where biologists get uncomfortable, because 6 limbs on a vertebrate simply don't happen. Fish, reptiles, birds, mammals, all have a maximum of 4 limbs. No exceptions, ever. So either every ancient artist was terrible at anatomy, or we're missing something. All right, let's approach this seriously. Forget magic. Turn on biology. If a dragon actually existed, what would it have to be? Physically, chemically, evolutionarily. Let's start with the obvious question. Fire. How does that even work? First reaction from scientists: impossible. Living tissue cannot withstand combustion temperature. Then someone remembered the bombardier beetle, and the conversation got significantly more interesting. This little menace stores 2 separate chemical chambers in its abdomen. They mix and produce a 100-degree explosion. Scale this mechanism to a creature the size of an aircraft, and suddenly a fire-breathing dragon stops being fantasy. All right, fire, solvable. Now let's talk about the problem that makes engineers twitch. Size. The largest flying creature in history, Quetzalcoatlus, wingspan 11 meters. It weighed around 250 kilograms. 250 kilograms at 11 meters wingspan? That's the physical ceiling. Any heavier, and wings simply cannot lift. Which means a real dragon couldn't weigh 10 tons, a few hundred kilograms maximum. And that changes everything. Because if a dragon weighs a few hundred kilograms, it's probably not what you imagined it to be. Let's build one from scratch, bone by bone, organ by organ, and see what we actually get. The skeleton. First and most serious problem. Bone is heavy. Flight is not. Nature already invented the solution: hollow bird bones. An eagle's skeleton weighs less than its feathers. That's not a metaphor. A dragon inherits the same system, but upgraded. Inside the bone, a lattice structure denser than quartz, yet hollow. Total skeleton mass of an adult specimen, around 80 kilograms, at a body length of 6 meters. 6 meters of body, 80 kilograms of skeleton. That's roughly a large lion, just with wings and fire. Now, the limbs. Remember the 6-limb problem? Here's how nature actually solves it. Birds fly on their front limbs. Bats do too. A wing is a hand, just a very strange hand. A real dragon has 4 limbs, full stop. The wings are modified forelimbs, like pterosaurs. This explains why, in some legends, the dragon walks on 4 legs and the wings fold separately. The European 4 legs plus separate wings dragon is an artistic error, biologically incorrect, and yet persistent. Wings, 12-meter span. To lift 300 kilograms, this has to be a very specific design. Wing surface area, around 30 square meters. For comparison, your entire apartment might be smaller. The membrane isn't just skin. 3 layers. Outer, keratin-like. Middle, cartilaginous. Inner, a vascular network. This vascular network isn't decorative. It regulates the entire body temperature. A dragon is warm-blooded. Warm-blooded means high metabolism, means eats a lot, a very concerning amount. Which brings us to the next problem. Back to fire. The bombardier beetle inspires. but it has no teeth and weighs half a gram. A dragon has 2 chambers in its larynx. First, produces hydrogen. Second, an ignition catalyst. When mixed, reaction. Exit temperature, around 900 degrees, enough to melt copper. There's a catch. Throat tissue must be protected. Nature solves this with internal keratin plates lining the entire passage. Essentially, a fireproof tube inside a living creature. Evolution builds the oven first, then learns to cook. Metabolism. To maintain body temperature and fire production, a dragon burns roughly 50,000 calories per day. That's roughly 25 adult deer per week. Suddenly, the fairy tales about missing livestock make complete sense. Such a diet means an enormous territory. One adult dragon, approximately 500 square kilometers of hunting range. This explains another detail from legends. Dragons are always solitary, because 2 individuals on one territory simply can't both eat enough. Now, longevity. Legends give a dragon 1,000 years. Biologically, how realistic is that? Tortoises live 200 years, Greenland sharks 500. Longevity isn't fantasy, it's a biological dial. A dragon's longevity mechanism? Telomeres. Same as humans, but with an enzyme that prevents them from shortening. Biologically, this already exists. It's called telomerase. Cancer cells have plenty of it. Greenland sharks, too. Short version, 1,000 years is biologically achievable. It just requires a few specific mutations working in concert. Now, the brain. Legends insist. A dragon is intelligent, speaks, remembers, manipulates. A dragon's brain-to-body ratio, roughly similar to a raven. Ravens are considered smarter than some primates. The ability to speak is a separate question. Vocal speech requires a complex larynx, the same one housing the fire mechanism. Either fire or speech. Nature doesn't give both in the same throat. Someone in mythology was clearly exaggerating. Navigation? Absolutely. Magnetic sense, like birds. A dragon navigates by Earth's magnetic field with no map required. And olfaction, sharper than any land predator. Scent of prey from 20 kilometers away. Standard. Reproduction. Eggs, biologically the only viable option. Live birth? Impossible, given offspring brain size at birth. Eggs are the only way to avoid killing the mother. Incubation period, approximately 3 years. The hatchling emerges already capable of basic flight within weeks. This explains their rarity. 3 years of incubation plus enormous territory requirements. Dragon populations were never large. And here we arrive at the most interesting part, the question that scientists prefer not to ask out loud. Where did dragons appear in every culture simultaneously? The boring version, people found dinosaur bones. A T-Rex femur is convincing, especially if the largest thing you've ever seen is a horse. But there's a more interesting version. What if humanity didn't invent the dragon, but remembered it? Humans appeared around 300,000 years ago. The last giant non-flying reptiles went extinct around the same time. An encounter is not impossible. Fear encoded in genetic memory could have transformed into the universal image of a dragon. But here's the real twist. A creature that uses chemical reactions as a weapon, flies and hunts large prey, already exists. The Komodo dragon. 3 meters, 150 kilograms. Saliva containing anticoagulants and bacteria. That's its venom. It doesn't breathe fire, yet. But its ancestor 60 million years ago weighed several tons and had wing-like structures. Megalania, 7 meters long, survived until humans arrived in Australia. The Aboriginal people remember it, and they call it a dragon. 7 meters, no wings, no fire, and still a dragon. Because an encounter with something like that doesn't leave your memory. So the real dragon is probably a composite. Megalania plus pterosaur plus bombardier beetle plus human fear, assembled over millennia. Myth isn't invention, it's memory, just delivered through 1,000 years of retelling and artistic embellishment. And if we accept that dragon biology is plausible, then one uncomfortable question arises. If a dragon is biologically viable, lives 1,000 years, occupies 500 kilometers of territory, and originally inhabited the most inaccessible places on the planet, we simply haven't found the skeleton yet. Every year, science discovers new species in places thought fully mapped. In 1994, they found the Wollemi pine, a living dinosaur-era tree, still alive. Nobody knew. The coelacanth was considered extinct for 65 million years, found alive in 1938. Alive, and apparently quite annoyed about it. Dragon biology, plausible. Natural precedents exist. Cultural memory, synchronized across every continent. We just haven't found the skeleton. Yet.